up? And welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How is your life
going? And make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go to our website, you'll see all the ways that you can support the show. You can follow us there. You can follow all of our social media at Opposite Pod. You can search us by going to the search bar on any of the social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that. Just search Opposites Attract Podcast or at Opposite Pod, and you'll be able to find us. And you can also click around the website, send us a message and all that.
We are on every platform, audio and video, correct?
Yeah. And yes. YouTube just released like a new podcast section, which this might be coming out on. I don't know.
There you go.
But yeah.
So I want to give a shout out to my dear client, Kayla. So her and I have been working together for a few months. And she is just absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing, so giving, and very talented, right? Very talented. And I wanted to refurbish my desk and my bookshelf. And she's like, that's what I do. Yeah. And I didn't see any work of hers, but I just trusted her. And let me tell you, she did such a beautiful job. And I'll be
looks
putting,
completely different.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yes. She gave it back. It looks like just a brand new desk with so many upgrades.
Yeah.
And what really just made it all so special was that the keyboard, where the keyboard goes, it lifts. What do you call that? The lip.
Where the the keyboard slides out.
Right. And you can...
It has like a paper holder that flips up.
Mm-hmm. And underneath the paper holder, the wood piece, she had you and the kids write a message for me. She had the desk before I left to India. Yeah. And I had no idea that she had you guys do this. And when she dropped the desk off and she was putting it together and you and her were working together at it, she had flipped it up and I looked and I saw the writing.
Yeah.
And it just warmed my heart. Like, it takes extra. Like, that's extra, right? Yeah. Just not just refurbishing the desk, but yes, and she knows how dear, you guys are to me, and so it just made it that much more.
Yeah, it was one of those things where we were like on our way somewhere. She was texting me like, hey, do you have any time to like get over here, like sneak over? I think it was after you had gotten back from India because she was still working on it. Okay. And it was like she was finishing the drawer part. And it was like I think it was like right before I was taking Audrey to softball. We were going to jiu-jitsu and we like drove over there, did our thing real quick, and then headed to where we had to go.
So awesome.
But yeah, it turned out awesome.
Yeah, so I'll play some pictures up. But if you guys are looking like you have a piece that you absolutely love and you want it refinished, I would definitely reach out to us. I'll ask her if she's okay with me giving her contact information out.
So she does?
She loves it. Like, she loves.
You like starting a business for her?
No.
She doesn't even know it. She's going to start sending people.
She loves doing it, and she's really, really good at it. Like, there was not, I'm picky, right? Like, I am very, if I hire someone to do something, like, I expect it like to be done right.
Yeah.
And I was floored. I was. Awesome. I was floored with it. So anyways, yeah. I just wanted to give her a shout out. And also, I've been getting a lot of responses from listeners, and there's a couple of comments that I need to respond to on YouTube.
Okay.
Just regarding, our relationship and, some of the topics that we've brought about on the podcast. So I just want to thank all of you listeners for your support, for sharing our podcast with those that you love, those that that our podcast may provide some value to, just sharing the podcast and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Because it all helps out.
Yes.
So what's up, babe? Where are we heading down? We didn't even sit down and talk about what we were going to talk about before this one.
No. Today I wanted to talk about today. Today is Saturday. We're recording on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And you have been very focused on jiu-jitsu and your training because you have an upcoming competition in August.
And I was just thinking, I'm going to look up one maybe next month. Because I got to do, that can't be my next competition. That's a big one.
Yeah.
That can't be my next competition.
Oh, gotcha. So you want to compete
I have to compete before.
Got it.
Maybe a couple times before.
Yeah. And you've been very focused. And along with that, you've helped Joey focus as well. And there was a situation that happened yesterday, and you were telling me about how you handled the situation because I was not with you all. And so I wanted to ask you about that. What,
just put it all out there?
Don't we put everything out there?
Yeah. It has to do with one of these things where we know in our life that there's a lot of things that are difficult that we turn away from. Things that are good for us,
yes,
that are difficult that we turn away from. Maybe it's getting started on a new diet or working out or starting a new class or whatever, It's just doing something that's
going to challenge.
It's going to challenge you. But it is crazy, though, because if you really do think about the challenging things that we've done, you're always better for them. Always.
Yes.
So we've been having this issue with Joey where it's everything that is difficult, that he has difficulty with, he fights us on. And we've talked about on this podcast, there's certain things that he's going to need in life. Reading and math are two of them.
Right.
And he fights us on both of them. Or he did. On math, he's gotten a lot better. And part of the reason why he's gotten better is because he's gotten better.
Right.
That's it.
So he enjoys it now because
he likes it a lot more because he's gotten better at it.
Yes.
But the thing is that it's no matter how we put it to him and give him examples of exactly that. When you get better, it gets better. You just got to work on it so that you can get better. And and we try to beat it into his head. We've probably said it 1,000 freaking times.
And let me go over this, okay? Because we as adults go through that where we try to take or find the easy way out.
It's not, it's
right?
everybody. That is just what people do.
Exactly. And we as parents have tried multiple things to help Joey, right? It's finding the thing that's going to motivate him to want to, right?
Do these
read
things.
The book.
Yeah.
Or, to challenge himself, to put himself in some challenging situations when it comes to jiu-jitsu, or reading a book that is an 8th grade level when he is in 6th grade. It's getting him to do the hard things because it is very natural to want to take the easy way out, to go the shorter route.
And I was telling Joey that. I'm everybody wants to do that. I was but the thing is, there are certain things in life that you are just going to have to. I gave him an example of something you just have to do it. last weekend I was cleaning the carpets, right? I was cleaning the carpets here in the house, and I had the freaking like the attachment, the hose attachment for it, where you can clean furniture and stuff like that. So we have our ottoman upstairs that we've talked about. We all lay on and watch movies, and that thing gets dirty. It's like a fucking
and you know, other things when the kids are asleep.
All right, so that ottoman,
no one's gonna want to sit on it again. No.
Listen, that ottoman is the equivalent to like the underneath of a fucking car seat when you pull it out.
Ew, babe.
You know what I mean? It's just because we've watched like hundreds of movies on that thing, you know?
Yes.
So I have this attachment, and like I'm cleaning, you know, and I'm watching, like it's like a sponge. So you have to like really press into it. And at a certain point, I look at it, I'm like, there is no easy way about this. You have to fucking just put your muscle into it, push the freaking thing. It's like squeegeeing a big ass sponge, pretty much.
Yes.
Right? And try to squeegee a couch. That's what it is. And I called Joey over, and I was like, look, sometimes I know it is better. Like, if you can find an easier way to do something, then do it. But there's going to be times when there is no other way about it. The only way to do it is to get to work and grind it out.
Yes.
And your attitude can make all the difference in the world. And what I noticed is that I wanted Joey to see it, because before I called him over, I had my headphones on and I had my music playing, and I'm just fucking going to town, and I'm sweating because it is hard work, but I'm sweating.
But you're dancing.
And I'm dancing, and I'm, squeegeeing the freaking ottoman and all that. And I wanted him to come over and see, like, yes, this is not the best work. You know, it's fucking cleaning a couch. But your attitude can make all the difference in the world.
There you go.
You know?
Yes.
So, yeah, we've talked about all these different things. We've tried to motivate him to do hard things. Obviously, we've talked about, like, he loves Transformers. He's got this one that he's been trying to build. It's like 5 of them or 8 of them put together, and he only needed the last one.
And these are not cheap.
They're not cheap. They don't make them anymore. And yeah, you pretty much have to buy them on eBay for whatever they're selling them for, and they're not cheap anymore. So he needed the last one. And we're like, look, how about we do this? We found a decent price for one. Let's pick it up, and we won't give it to him yet.
So this is a conversation that Miguel and I had.
Yeah. We'll use this as motivation, because this will he's been wanting it for so long, and he wants it so bad. And we'll use this as motivation to get him to read. When he finishes this book, then he'll get the toy, and he can complete the set, and then, you know, everybody wins.
Right.
That's what I was telling him yesterday. Right. Everybody wins. Mm-hmm. We got a good deal on the toy. You get the toy you wanted. You read the book. You get better. We're happy about that. It's good for everybody.
Right.
And then we had some issues with him reading the book.
Yes. He skipped a few chapters because he wanted the toy and didn't want to put the work into it.
He was impatient.
Yes.
And just like we talk about on here, when you try to take a shortcut,
the only person that pays for it is you.
The thing is that it's like a credit card. He wanted it sooner than he was supposed to get it.
Right.
And now what? Now he's got to pay double.
Right.
That's what happened.
And it's like with kids, it takes so much energy. It does. It takes so much energy and patience to keep pushing, to keep trying, to keep talking to them, to keep loving on them, to keep telling them how great they are, to keep telling them, right? It's just, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. You know what? There's something that we don't really talk about on here, but we be talking shit to each other, you know? Like, and it's in joking around, but we're like, fucking kids, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, fucking kid, it's parent shit, you know?
Because it is.
Oh my God.
It's just very exhausting.
Go get your fucking kids. You know what I mean? Oh my God.
You know, when all that was happening yesterday, he was throwing a fit because he had to go to jiu-jitsu on Friday. Normally they go on Thursdays, but Audrey had a track meet on Thursday, so they didn't attend. And I completely forgot and then gave a friend an okay for Joey to go. So then that kind of is what stirred the pot.
But I had been telling him since the day before.
Right.
We're going to jiu-jitsu. Hey, don't forget.
Yes.
We're going to, because, and this is like we were talking about before, he doesn't like the hard shit. Anything that is challenging, he shies away from it. And the thing is that it almost seems like it's growing. You know what I mean? And
what's growing?
Like it's more and more stuff. Like there's another challenge that I'm not going to freaking do. Here's another thing that's challenging that I'm not going to do.
Right.
But it's weird because it depends, because the Rubik's Cubes, he's all about it. He'll figure it out.
Right.
But one thing that we do know is that in life, there's going to be all kinds of shit that you don't want to do that you have to do.
Exactly.
There's going to be a lot of shit that hurts, that's uncomfortable, that you're going to have to get done. There's a lot of times that something doesn't feel right, something doesn't fit right, something, it doesn't matter. Just put your fucking head down and get to work.
Today, Audrey, Anna, and I, well, you and Joey went to jiu-jitsu, and then Audrey and I went to boxing, right? And so we're boxing, having a great time, and then we do an exercise in between our boxing just to keep our cardio going. Towards the end, he said, you guys can do an exercise that works the core, whatever you choose. So I get down. And I'm like, well, I know I do not want to do planks because And all of a sudden I heard myself not doing planks. And I'm like, all right, bitch. Doing
planks.
Guess what you're doing? Freaking planks.
Yep.
And Audrey was right there. She heard me. She heard me because I said it out loud. Well, I know what I don't want to do.
Fucking awesome.
Yes. Because we were face to face.
Yep.
Like face to face. That girl is good with planks. She's been doing planks. You can tell, right? And she heard me. I'm like, well, I know what I'm not doing. Planks. And then I'm like, shit. Now I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And that's the thing, though. It's being aware of the thing that you don't want to do and then pushing yourself to do it. Like, okay, well, today I was supposed to make, 10 calls. I really don't want to make the 10 calls. Right? Well, shit. Now it's like just being aware of the thing that you don't want to do, because doing it is going to make you feel better and become better.
Yeah. And another thing on that, you see it, like I was saying before with Joey, and like we've tried to explain this to him in every way possible. A few days before that, also on the way to jiu-jitsu, I'm talking to him about 1 second battles. About when you get that feeling, when there's something that you should do that you don't want to do. And like you said, your first feeling is, I don't want to do that. And I was telling him that is when your 1 second battle starts. As soon as you have that first thought of, I don't want to do that, I don't want to sign up for that, I don't know, the battle is on. And you have 1 second to make a decision on whether you're leaning into it or you're going to run away from it.
Right.
And a lot of times you're going to end up doing it anyway. So just lean it. Like it's just getting into that mentality of go.
Right.
Right. So yeah, that was another conversation that we had. And so like you were saying yesterday, we're going to jiu-jitsu, and it seems like with everything, when things start adding up, like, hey, go clean up your room, attitude. Hey, go, there's dishes in the sink. They need to be put away. Or the dishwasher's full.
Go feed the dogs.
Attitude. And it's like, oh, I got to do another thing. I got to do another thing. And you guys know, for fucking parents, you just want to strangle these fucking kids when they start acting like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you guys, I don't need to explain it. But so it was like time to go to jiu-jitsu. And he just started losing it. And the attitude just gets so bad. And he was asking me something about the Nintendo. And in that moment, I was like, yeah, hand me that Nintendo. That Nintendo's gone. And that was it. And at that moment, I was like, you know what? We got in the car. He didn't like me. We got in the car. We're headed to jiu-jitsu. And he sat in the back. He's usually my buddy, sits in the front. And I was like, dude, it's okay if you don't like me. I was like, actually, we went to jiu-jitsu. I just played music on the way there. We usually share a little. He gets the last little bit of my energy drink. I don't tell you that. I didn't tell you this, but I have my energy drink that I drink on the way over there with electrolytes and all that shit. And then the last little bit, I give it to him, and then he drinks it. Yesterday, he was pissed. He didn't want none of my shit.
You even asked him, and he said no?
Yeah. I was like, here you are. He's like, no, fuck you. Pretty much in the back. He's looking at me through the rearview mirror, you know.
And this kid does some, he stare downs, like, for real.
So we're at jiu-jitsu, and he's doing his thing. Oh, so at some point on the way there, I just turned the music down, and I'm like, look, it is what it is. As you can tell, we're headed to jiu-jitsu. And your attitude right now, it sucks. And you know that when you go with this attitude to jiu-jitsu, it sucks worse because you start getting beat, you start getting frustrated, you start getting beat even more. And then sometimes, somehow, you just end up getting your fucking head pounded in on that day. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's up to you. We're going anyway. But I suggest you change your attitude before we get there. And I just turned the music back up, and we just went to jiu-jitsu. And then I was just kind of thinking while we were there. And I'm like, we have tried everything. We've tried talking. We've tried motivating him by getting him the things that he wants. You know, celebrating certain things when he does make some progress. But it's just a hassle to the continuous progress, right? Mm-hmm. So while we're training, I just have this thought. I was like, you know what? We'll just start taking shit away. Like, and not feel bad about it because we have done everything.
Yes.
We'll just start taking shit away. So now your Nintendo's gone. And, but I was like in class, I had this thought and I almost thought like, I'm going to go tell him. But then I'm like, he's also in class and I don't want to fuck with his head when he's wrestling with other kids.
Okay.
So I was like, on the way home, we're driving home from jiu-jitsu. And I told him, I was like, dude, we've tried everything. And I told him about the toy. I was like, look, we've even bought you a toy that you hadn't earned yet to try to motivate you to do something that's good for you. And he's like, that's a fair point. And I told him, I was like, so I made the decision that from now on, when we ask you to do something that is good for you, or just when we ask you to do something, and you start giving us this attitude of like throwing a fit or whatever, like you don't want, we're not going to fight with you. We're just going to take something away. It'll be whatever you're playing with at that moment. Oh, look at that Rubik's Cube in your hand. Hand it over. And you'll get that back whenever we fix the attitude with whatever it was that you got it taken away for. Mm-hmm. So now your Nintendo's gone. The only way you get it back is by having a good, consistent attitude when you go to jiu-jitsu. So we got to do some reading and you throw a fit and you lose your Rubik's Cubes. The only time you're going to get it back is maybe when we finish that next book and you've had a good attitude every time that we sit down to read. That's what we're going to do.
He said, we were at the dinner table, right? And you can tell I'm the softie, right? Like you can tell that they feel that I am the softie because they bring me into the shit, right? They bring me into their shit and start to ask me questions. And so he's like, so Dad, he brought up their conversation because I wasn't there when they had this conversation. And he's like, so are you going to take my friends away too?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He said, are you going to take my friends away too? And I'm like, what do you mean?
What did I say?
And you said yes, but that's part of it. Like when you get grounded, when I would get grounded, my phone would go away. She would take my phone away and I couldn't play.
That's what grounded means. Yes, but I'm taking away your friend.
Our kids don't even know, like, for real. He's like, wait a minute, you can do that? Yeah. That's part of being grounded, not doing anything, not going out, not playing.
We should have been like, check this out. Fucking ground his ass right there on the spot. You're fucking grounded. Watch what I can do.
Oh my goodness.
Let the power go to your fucking head.
Yes. He is very strong-willed. He's a very strong-willed kid. You know, Adriana,
I have that.
Like she gets it. She understands. Like, okay, I gave you attitude. I am sorry. You didn't deserve that. I'm okay. I will do whatever it is that you ask of me because that's what I deserve. Like she's just she gets it. And maybe it's because she's more mature.
Maybe we're different. Because you know what? I've held grudges. I could hold a fucking grudge.
Oh, yes, you can.
And he can hold a grudge. Just like yesterday when I was like, you want some of my drink? He's like, fuck you, old man. You know what I mean? He doesn't give a shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like that is kind of, but you learn. It's like, dude, you got to learn to let that shit go.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe it's just talking to him about that. But on the same note, that is another thing that I talked to him about all like these things. And I'm like, look, on the way to jiu-jitsu, I could tell that you probably didn't like me very much. And he's like, well, I love you. And I'm like, I know you love me.
But you didn't
I was like, but you didn't really like me on the way up here because I took your Nintendo away.
Yes.
And I just told him, I was like, that's okay. I was like, I'd rather you not like me and be ready for the world when you're an adult than you like me and then you run into some shit and you don't know what to do.
Right.
I was like, my job is to get you ready.
Mm-hmm. That's so good.
It's okay.
That's so good. I mean, it is what it is. Like, we're going to go through these challenges because that's what helps us become better parents, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone's walking to the door. Yeah, that's what helps us become better parents, right? So it's just like, okay, who do I need to become in order to raise this child, right?
Yeah.
With you, it's like patience. With me, I mean, with both of us, patience. It's being able to stay conscious while he's testing us, right? For us not to flip a lid while he's testing us and be very calm about the situation. Like, all right, buddy, let me have that Nintendo.
And that
right?
is
like not allowing him to get you to become unconscious to where you're upset and angry and out of it.
Yeah.
It's like keeping your
cool. You're losing control.
Right. It's keeping your cool and allowing him to see that.
Yeah.
Even when he's acting like a little jerk, it's like, all right, dude, let me have that.
Yeah,
all right,
we're not doing that.
You're grounded, you know, and just staying neutral. And that there is when you know you've arrived. Right? No, seriously.
Yeah.
When someone's poking at you, when someone is talking shit, when someone is saying some shit, right?
Yep.
And you're just like, I understand what you're saying, but that's not who I am. And that's not what I'm about.
Oh, I got a Bruce Lee quote.
You got a Bruce Lee quote.
It says, an unhealed person can find offense in pretty much anything someone else does. A healed person understands that the actions of others has absolutely nothing to do with them.
Don't put that on. Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
But yeah, like that. I was talking to my brother
and,
about.
Hold on. And once you get there, you will have the best days ever. Because no one can steal your joy from you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like you don't give anyone power over you.
It's kind of like you were telling me earlier. You were just joking around. But you called me earlier saying that somebody was talking shit about me.
Wait, what was it about? How did all that
It
start?
doesn't matter. But I was at the store. And you said somebody was talking shit. And I didn't say anything in the moment, but you already know my first thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, say whatever the fuck you want, because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not that they were talking shit, that they were disapproving of what he was doing.
I don't give a shit.
That's what it was.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And when you know yourself, when, like, there's nothing you can say to me. I know who I am.
Yeah.
You know? But there was something that I wanted to share, a moment that I had with Joey, with the kids. They were both in the car. But before we do that, make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go to our website, the first thing that'll pop up is our resource list. And that's a list of books, podcasts, videos, things that we've watched over the years that really made us think about different things when it comes to parenting, marriage, finances, health. There's all kinds of stuff on there.
Yes.
But things that have really opened our eyes and made us think differently about stuff. And if you guys want to check that out, and it's also a great way for you guys to stay in touch with us. All you need to do is give us your name and your email, and you'll get added to our email list, which we'll start sending out some emails to stay in touch with everybody. But we will eventually say something crazy and grow to the point where they will get us
They all know who they're talking about.
Some shit.
They all know you're talking about
because
yourself.
People get so sensitive about everything nowadays. And so yeah, that way we can stay in touch. But also when you go to our website, like I said earlier, you guys can see all the ways that you can follow us on our social media. It's all at the top of the website. You can listen to us on Spotify. Share our clips with people that you know. We put out 2 clips every single week. And they're short clips about different things. Because we know like a 1-hour podcast, there's only certain people that are going to sit down and listen to a 1-hour podcast. But a lot of people listen to clips all the time.
Our soldiers listen to our 1-hour podcast.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
But but there's clips. So if there's a short clip that you like, you can send it to somebody and get them. Maybe they'll be interested in the show too. And we definitely appreciate that. You can also support us by clicking the support the show tab. And when you do that, you'll see our Amazon link. You can just go shopping on your Amazon app, go to our website, click on the support the show tab, click on the Amazon link, and it takes you right back to Amazon. Just check out, and then it gives us a little kickback anytime you guys shop there, and it doesn't cost you anything extra.
Yes. And another way that you can support the show is go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod, and you can buy us a virtual drink, whether it's a coffee or an alcohol beverage or a bottle of wine, whatever it may be.
Or some shots for our fucking dog. Oh my God.
Like, wait, dude. Or you can subscribe as well on a monthly basis.
I'm going to change it to buymeashopformydog.com. Holy fuck with these medical bills for these pets. Aww. We got a cat that got bit in the ass that we had to take to the fucking vet.
And then a week later,
we got to oh my God.
She has arthritis, so we're having to give her shots.
And they're so sweet. Like, we love our animals.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Anyway. So buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. Anything else? Sorry, went on a fucking dog tangent there.
Listen.
Give us a call. 480-331-9846.
If you would like to support our dogs.
Buy us a dogshot.com. That's what I was saying.
We have a lot of pet lovers that listen or watch our podcast.
That's how. Dude, so, it's not a fucking joke, though. Holy shit.
No, it takes a lot to be a fur parent, right? Because shit comes up and they are part of the family. And so when an obstacle comes up where your cat gets bit in the ass and it gets infected, you have to do the responsible thing as a pet parent and take them to see the doctor.
It's going to turn into one of those commercials.
Or, your little dog who's only 2 years old.
It's so sad.
She has like a lot of medical issues coming up. But what do you do? I mean, they are part of the family. You just got to do what you got to do to take care of them and to help them be comfortable.
Dude, it's been tough because she's so sweet. And like you said, she's only 2. We have a 2-year-old pit bull, and anybody that has like these bully type dogs, like, their hips are bad. Like, they have bad hips, and she's her genetics or whatever. She's been unlucky, man. And she has some hips that are jacked.
Yes. And so we got her for free. That should have been a sign.
Hold on a second.
Don't throw me under the bus.
Wait a minute. We have what? I just thought of something. We have documented evidence that she was the dog.
She's
sent
my
from
soul
God
sister.
Or some shit.
Yes.
Because we've been recording for 3 years and she's only 2 years old. So we can go back to that episode where you're like, God sent me this puppy dog, and that's why we had to take her home. And she is so sweet.
Exactly.
She is a sweetheart, but she has been fucked up.
No, she's expensive.
Dude, we had to get her fucking eyebrow stitched. We had to give her a fucking plastic surgery and shit. Now her hips are fucked up. She's going to be on roller skates here soon.
She has arthritis, but it helps us to grow. Financially grow as well.
Yeah, we have to financially grow. Yeah. We have to financially grow right now because we need some dog shots. Holy shit.
I'm sure a lot of you can relate. There's a lot of individuals that love their pets. It's a great business to be a part of, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Holy shit. But
Yes.
so I was mentioning earlier that I had this moment with the kids. There was a day where we had went to jiu-jitsu and we were coming home, and here in Arizona, like everything is blooming right now.
Yes. It's so
All
beautiful.
the flowers are out. Like
Yes.
and for people that have allergies, it's on right now.
Yeah.
And Joey seems to have some allergies like I do. And
he got it from his daddy.
yeah. But I don't get it too bad to like make me, every once in a while, I get super miserable, but it's not very often, you know, like where both nostrils are stuffed and I'm breathing through my mouth and I'm sleeping and all that. But Joey, every once in a while.
There's times where I can't sit on his face because I'll suffer.
Because I'll die.
I guess I'll die.
Because I might die. But Joey, he'll get allergies sometimes too. And this day he was having allergies pretty bad. And he was just kind of upset. And I'm like, dude, I get it. I was like, it freaking sucks. And then I was telling Joey, I was like, man, it made me think of when they're sick and they're babies for some reason in that moment. And I was telling Joey, I'm like, dude, we can try maybe some medicine, you know, maybe some eye drops to see if maybe like the itching in your eyes and maybe hopefully the stuffiness will go away. But I was like, dude, there's this period for parents. It's like before the age of 6, because there's like cough medicine that you just can't give kids until they're like 6. There's like like the earliest ones start at 6, right? So when you have a little baby that's 2 years old,
or even an infant,
or 3 even, and they get a bad cold where they're congested and they're stuffy and they're crying, and like you're trying to relieve the discomfort that they're feeling and all of that, but there's like nothing that you can give them. There's nothing that you can do, and all they're doing is crying, and you just feel so bad for them. Like you feel hopeless. That was the feeling. Like I remember, I was gonna ask you because I think the kids, I think what it was is like we had the crib turned into the day bed by this point, and one of the kids was like so sick that I don't know if I took the ottoman into that room. Like I took the big ass fucking ottoman that we had and like moved the furniture like into the baby's room so that we could lay down with the baby in there, because there was nothing we can do, and that's where they were comfortable. I don't remember exactly, but it's just like we're trying to do whatever we can to keep them like somewhat comfortable, but there's nothing you can do. And all you can, like, it's almost like you just want to cry with them.
Right.
Because you're hopeless, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And man, so I was explaining that to Joey, and I was thinking this was kind of, it was crazy, because I was thinking in that moment, I was like, that's probably one of the worst feelings in the world, is that hopeless feeling when your kid's sick. And then I remembered when he almost got lost in Spain.
You're really going to talk about this right now?
And then I was like,
Miguel,
that,
okay, let me just zip my energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the most hopeless feeling. And that was the scariest thing ever, was when Joey almost got lost in Spain in like a crowded area. And he was lost for a few minutes, I guess. I mean, it felt like forever. It's one of those things where you feel like it was like, it might have been 3 minutes, but it felt like maybe 20, you know, that he was gone. And I don't even know how to explain that, because it's like, it is like this feeling of just everything sinking into your stomach. Your heart, your brain, fucking everything just sinks into the pit of your stomach, and it's like a ball, and it's hopeless.
Yes.
And it was crazy just kind of having, like, I was just sharing that with Joey and like taking myself back to those moments. And I could tell that if I kept thinking about it, because I hadn't felt that since they were a baby, or since that happened with Joey, you know? And I could feel that if I kept thinking about it, I kept visualizing it, like I can bring those feelings back. And I remember, and I was like, I do not want to feel that again.
That awareness is key. What I mean by that is you were using it, you felt it, you felt the negative energy, and you felt your energy shift in that moment when you remembered that event and you felt yourself going down that dark path, and you recognize the emotions that were coming up with it, and you stepped away from it. You stepped out of that.
Yeah. I mean,
because you didn't want to take yourself there, right?
Yeah.
And I remember Miguel telling me this because I teach my clients on how to shift their energy, right? To shift their energy, because there's times where something happens. We wake up, we're in a good mood, everything is coming together, we're working out, we're listening to good music, maybe we meditated, and our energy is up and it's good and it's flowing. And then all of a sudden, something happens to us in our day that shifts our energy from feeling joy and peace and love to now we are angry, we are upset, and now we're feeling that we can't shake this thing off. So how do you get out of that? It's taking yourself back to a place where you were feeling joy, where you were feeling peace, where you were feeling love, doing exactly what you just did.
Yeah.
That's how you can shift your energy.
Yeah.
But you have to be aware. Like, you have to allow yourself, you have to slow down and be present and be aware in order to recognize what is happening within the body, the feelings, the emotions, everything that is coming up. And once you have that awareness that you just had, then you can control everything else.
Yeah.
Because now you know what it takes to make that shift.
It's kind of like the 1 second battle without the battle. It's like when the emotion comes and then instantly like, okay, I'm feeling something.
Yes.
Because that's what like I was talking to Joey about it, and then for a second, like I took myself there and then I felt it. And then I was like, hold up. I'm not trying to go there right now.
It was the thought. The thought came up first.
Yeah.
The thought triggered the emotion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what it all was, the reason for all of it was because it was for the same reason that I was talking to Joey on the way home yesterday, when I was telling him that it's okay if he doesn't like me. It was because I wanted to share with him so that maybe he could understand what a parent's love is like. You know, because that's what I was trying to explain to him about that hopeless feeling. Is that when you love someone so much and you can't do anything for them, like how it breaks your fucking heart.
Yes.
You know, when you have a little baby and you just can't do anything.
Yes.
You know, or when your kid struggles.
Right.
When they fight you on the shit that you know they need.
Yes.
It's like, we love you so much that if you don't like me, that's okay.
Right. And that's what it is. It's just continuing to be that patient, loving, supportive parent, regardless of how the kid is responding. To never give up, because there's times where it's just so busy, or not just so busy, but it's just so much energy that it's taken from you. Like, you have to step away from the situation, because if you don't, then you're going to explode. You're going to say the things that you wish you wouldn't have said. Is being aware, being conscious.
You have to be able to step
out.
away for a minute.
Yes.
And regroup.
Yes.
And then re-engage.
Yes.
And be like, okay, now, all right. Now I was losing it for a second.
Yes.
I need to step away.
Yes.
What's happening? What do I need to do? And how do I respond? Okay, let's go.
Right.
The way how I see it is kind of like, not that I've ever I don't even want to make it seem that way, been in combat or anything like that. But if shit is getting crazy, I could just imagine that you would have to take a moment to like look and regroup. Like what is going, like if there's times when you can just act, but then if shit is just getting crazy and you're losing control, you might need to like take a second to like see what is going on and reassess everything and then act again.
Yes.
Which is what you have to do. And one thing I was talking to my brother about, because he was going through a situation with something that we've dealt with where the daughter, like you have to make these hard decisions. It actually has to do with social media and not allowing social media and explaining to the kid because so many people have it and you maybe don't feel like the kid should have it. They're going to push back. So-and-so has it. Everybody's fucking got it. How come I can't have it if it's so bad? And it makes you kind of seem like, why am I the only one? And it's like, you don't get it. I'm protecting you, right? Mm-hmm. And it's hard to fucking stick to your guns and do the right thing, the things that are best for the kids when there's pressure from everywhere. But the bottom line is, who gives a fuck? They're your kids. You need to do what's best. Nobody else is going to care as much. Just like I was saying, when somebody does work, or like the ottoman, we've had that ottoman cleaned and redone I don't know how many times. There's been stuff on there that couldn't get off. But when I cleaned it, a bunch of shit came off. Because nobody's going to do anything the way you would do it yourself and for your kids.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I was telling my brother that when these things come up, that is the moment that makes you a parent. That is when good parents, that's what makes you a good parent, is the hard moments, because everybody can deal with the good shit. Going out to the movies and having a good time or going to the park, yeah, that's important stuff, but that's the easy stuff.
Right.
The parenting comes when you're doing the hard shit, when you're taking stuff away and they fucking hate you.
Oh, and that sucks. It does suck. Yeah. It doesn't feel good.
But it's what's best for them.
It doesn't feel good at all, but you got to do what you got to do. Everything that we're talking about, you can also use this in your relationship. Everything. Because you will get into a disagreement. You will get into an argument. And how you show up and how you respond and what you say and what you do makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Being careful, because the thing that is said, you can't take back. That seed was planted. Right? And so even in a relationship, in the heat of the moment,
yeah,
stepping back, taking yourself out of the situation to regroup.
Let's be quiet.
It's like, and
it's better, I think, sometimes just to be quiet and listen. Because sometimes when you're just responding, it's been a while since we've done it in the past, but it doesn't happen very often anymore, right?
No.
Like if something, that's probably why we don't argue, or we haven't argued because it's not like you'll say something and then I immediately say something back, or I say something and you'll immediately say something back.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you maybe say something, or if I maybe say something, we both kind of like think about, yeah, you didn't, that's not what you meant. Or it's not even that way. It just doesn't come.
Happened. Yeah. And that's the thing that, in time, the things that were difficult, the mistakes that you made in the relationship, maybe you responded in a negative manner. You said something that you wish you didn't say, or after you make the decision to focus on becoming the better you, right? Like becoming the best version of you, things become easier. It doesn't take as much energy and as much and work to grow a relationship, right? Like it's just becomes part of you. It is who you are. It's who you become. And the person that you're with, the last thought is to hurt or say something that is going to cause hurt or, I don't know, discomfort or whatever in the person that you plan on spending the rest of your life with. It's just, you're more thoughtful, you're more respectful, you're more just, it
Present.
just becomes, yeah. And it's not even work anymore. You know, it's just all
it's all working together.
Yeah. And life becomes so much better together. You know, today, it's Saturday, and you went to jiu-jitsu with Joey, and I went to boxing with Audrey. And then we came home, and we were with each other. We were with the kids.
We made coffee.
And yeah, we made coffee together, and we had breakfast together, a good breakfast, right? Strawberries, blueberries. I made some chili. We had eggs, and just having a great conversation with the kids, laughing and talking. And then afterwards, the kids were cleaning up, and you and I went and we sat in the front yard and had finished our coffee and watched the birds and had some great conversation. And we were called white by our neighbors.
Because we're bird watching. Oh, that's funny.
But just, you know, just spending that quality time with each other, just being there, and then taking part of nature.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's just those special moments. It becomes so much more easier.
I was like, I could do this.
When you care, right? Because that's what it is. When you care, you take the time to really try to figure out why this relationship is so screwed up, right?
Yeah.
You take time to look in the mirror. You take time to take responsibility, to look at your actions, to see what you created, because it takes two to destroy a relationship.
And to fix it. Yeah.
But it was work.
But at a certain point,
yeah, it that's what I'm saying.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's good now.
Yeah, like it's just amazing.
You just got to work through it.
Yeah.
There's
days
Joey.
where there's days, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's some days where you may be stressed, but then I go to rescue you.
Well, it's kind of
like, what can I do for you, baby? Yeah. What can I do to help you? What can I do? You know,
or if you got a bunch of shit going on, maybe I can help you out with something.
Rubbing your back or kissing your forehead or just.
But it's kind of like Joey, like we were saying, you have to go through the rough part before you get to the good part. Yes. You got to learn. You got to work through it first.
And sometimes you forget. Because everything is going so smooth and so good. And then God's like, all right, I'm going to test your ass. And then something happens. And again, are you going to take the easy way out? Or are you going to take on the challenge? Yeah. Right? Because there's times where like Adriana is doing so well, so good. And we can see all the effort and time and love and understanding that we poured into this young lady, and we see where she's at today, and it feels so good, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, all that work, here it is, right? And then something off the wall will happen because she's still growing, and then it's time for us to grow. Okay, who do I need to become, or what is it that I need to do? Step out of the situation, because she's going to test us sometimes. She's going to have a rough day.
Yeah.
And we have to be that solid foundation for her, to understand where she's coming from, to understand that she needs time, to understand that she needs our support.
You know what? There was something that just brought something to mind, because I know a lot of times you feel like emotions are good, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Emotions are good. To feel emotions.
Yes.
But as a parent, we were also talking about earlier when you lose control of your emotions, right? So emotions are good, but not when you lose control of your emotions, right?
Right.
And sometimes that happens with parents.
Yes,
we do
it
that.
Does. Yes, it
when
does.
When we get tested, when shit's not going right, when the kids are acting a fool, when you're telling them to do things 10,000 times. But kind of like you're saying in this situation where they're coming to you with something, imagine if you weren't, like if you play into it and you're emotional and you're, as much as emotions are good, as a parent, you need to control your emotions.
Exactly. Because
when they come to you with something, you need to take it in and analyze it and give the best advice for that.
Yes.
And if you're emotional about it,
it's going to be a wreck. It's like during my coaching sessions, right?
Yeah.
Man, I have learned this so well because I am emotional. I am present. I am one with my clients. When I am with them, I am with them. But I have learned to control what is happening within so that I can be present for them, so I can be with them like 100%, but not be in it to where I am bawling like a baby with them. It's like, okay, like I feel them, I empathize with them, but I also have the strength to be who I need to be so that I can be that coach that they need in order to get them to see the situation, to get them to see how to resolve the situation, how they can resolve the situation, to get them to understand that they have the power within to resolve it. Yeah. But being neutral in that situation, but still being able to love them and them see that I understand what it is that they're going through, but still have the strength behind that. That's the feminine and masculine energy. And as a parent, sometimes there's going to be some shit that happens with your kid where you want to go kick someone's ass, right? But you have to
control those emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you
teach your kids how to fight so that they can fuck them up.
You know, married, right? Not some of you are raising your children on your own, where you're a single mother or you're a single dad. So this is a bit different. But there's times where I can emotionally get involved and you are by my side and you help me to see, or you'll say something to get me to recognize that I am emotionally getting involved. Like there's
Can you give an example of something, or can you think of something?
Well, this is a little different, but you and I were shopping at a grocery store, and I am kind and I am love, and that's just who I am. Like that's who I am. And there was this girl there. She didn't know much about cheese and wine and, just that kind of deal.
Yeah.
And you thought that I was being rude, but it wasn't that. It was like you told me she didn't know what
she was talking about.
Right. But I was still coming from a place. That's not a very good example. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, like you're there to help me.
Well, I think every parent's been through a situation where one parent is dealing with the kids in a moment, right? Like you're the one that's going through it, not me. Maybe I'm upstairs doing something and you're downstairs with the kids and they've got you fucking worked the fuck up.
Right.
And you're at that moment of losing control.
Right.
And maybe I come downstairs and you do maybe lose a little bit, right? Because it's not like you fucking say some shit that's like a dagger to the fucking heart. You know what I mean?
But I'm short.
But
I could be short.
It's something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I know, I see what's happening.
Yes.
And it's like, all right, babe, like saying just.
I can't remember exactly, but there is time where you're like, well, Joey just doesn't understand. Or, Joey tried blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know the entire story, but maybe you were with them and then I'm responding in a different way. And then you come in and you explain exactly what happened to get me to understand the entire situation.
And that's the problem when your emotions get involved. There's things that you miss. Right. There's things that are happening in the interaction that you're missing because you're angry, because you're frustrated, because you're sad, because whatever.
Right.
There's things that you're missing because you're not seeing everything.
Yeah. So asking questions, I feel, will help the situation, or I know will help the situation. Like if your kid is responding in a certain way or they're talking about something and they're off the wall, like, well, why is it that you feel this way? Or what did she do exactly to make you feel this way? Right? Maybe they're talking about a teacher or a friend and he's like, I'm really upset because my friend did blah, 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 blah. Well, did you, it's getting them to think for themselves, because a lot of times as parents, we will give the kid the answer, what we think happened, versus getting them to think about the situation themselves. It's like with my clients. I don't want them to think that I'm God. I don't want them to think that I have all the information. So what I do is I'll ask my clients questions to get them to think, to see like, oh, that's why I did that. It's getting that. It's like connecting the dots for them, getting them to recognize what it is that they're doing that got them the outcome that they got.
You know what it is? I was just saying it earlier, is just thinking, taking a moment to think, like just not saying anything. Because how many times has somebody been talking, they say something to you and you say, what? But you heard what they said.
Yes.
You heard exactly what they said, but you still said what anyway.
Right.
And then when you think about it, you're like, oh, I know.
Yes.
I heard them. But why did you say what? Just be quiet and think.
Yes. And that's what we're teaching Joey. Because Joey a lot of times will ask some questions and I'm like, dude, think about what you just said.
Yeah.
Like getting them to think about it.
Yep. Yeah, we've done that so many times where they ask a question, it's just automatic to give them the answer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's easier to do that. It takes less energy to do that. Yeah. But how are you serving them? How are you helping them by giving them the answers versus, well, let's think about this.
Yeah, let them figure it out.
Help
them figure it out.
Yes. Yes. And a lot of times it is difficult because it does take energy and it does take time.
Yeah.
Parenting is no joke.
It's just like everything else. You know what? Real quick, before we get out of here, there was that is a perfect lead into something that we saw when we were at the track meet. Because a lot of times
Audrey's in track.
Yeah, we were at Audrey's track meet. And nowadays it seems like the world's a fucking disaster. You know what I mean? But when we were at the track meet, we looked over and there was this guy with his daughter running in the track meet.
Yes.
And he's got 3 little girls sitting. He's got one in a stroller.
Yes.
And then 2 other ones sitting next to him. And they are no cell phone.
Nope.
Just behaving themselves.
Yes. And the little girl was like good. About 2, by the way.
All 3 of them. Just good.
Yes.
No cell phones, no nothing. And like what you're talking about, like the easy way out. How many times have we been out there and we just see parents that just give a phone to the kid? And we were talking about that, because it's so easy just to like parents go out for dinner, bring the kid and the kid sits there with a cell phone. And And the thing is that it's weird because in a way it almost seems like there's nothing wrong with it. But inside you know that there's something wrong with it. Because the kid could be watching something that's not even bad for them. They could be watching fucking Blue's Clues or some shit on the cell phone. But there's something about the kid being there and not being engaged with whatever else is happening.
Yes.
There's something that's off about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Like they're actually watching something that's going to teach them something. Yeah. It's educational maybe. Mm-hmm. But there's something off about being out at dinner with your parents and you're watching something else.
Yeah. So we recently took the kids out to a nice restaurant. And I think it's so important, and this is something that I've just always felt. When we take them out to a restaurant, we do not order their food. Because I feel that it's very important for the kids to speak up. Not only that, but know how to communicate, how to look the waiter or waitress in the eye with confidence, knowing what it is that they want, right?
Yeah.
And being able to do just that. It starts there. Yeah. It starts with them taking the initiative to speak up, to speak out, and to know what it is that they want versus the parents ordering for them and doing everything for them.
Yeah.
You know, and having a conversation. Like having a conversation. You're with your, the kids were with us. We were talking to each other. They were talking to each other. It was just all of us. And there's a closeness. There's a bond.
Yeah.
That happens. There's a bond.
Yep.
Even when Adriana was a baby, we never gave her our phones. Even when Joey was a baby, we never gave them our phones. That is taking the easy way out.
Yeah.
That is. When you think about it.
And that's why I was saying, that's why it was so cool to see yesterday.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You see this dude and he's got all his kids there and he's got it down, And I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
4 girls. Sure. I was like, holy shit. Good for that guy.
Yes. And I ended up seeing the wife come later on, and we should have paid him a compliment. We should have paid them a compliment.
If I see them again next time, if I see him, or
I'm sure we will,
because we were talking about it. I was like,
for sure.
I was like, dude, he's here supporting his daughter with his daughters.
Yes.
I was like, the wife might be working, or maybe he works in the evenings, or you just do what you got to do to make it work.
And their daughter is friends with our daughter. They were running the 400 meter or whatever. And the daughter, when she saw her dad, she said, excited. He's here, and took off running. And Adriana and Jazzy were like, who's here? I thought it was a boy. It was her daddy.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. Like I said before, when you guys go there, you can follow all of our social media there. You can watch the podcast there. You can listen to it there. You can send us a message. You can also call us, leave us a message, send us a text. If you guys have a question or anything that you want to ask us, you can send us a text or leave us a message at 480-331-9846. We'll play it on the show. You can be anonymous if you want. We'll answer whatever question you guys have for us, or any comments or compliments or whatever.
Yes. Thank you all for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together. Bye.